Hello and welcome to Vlogmas16. I've got myself a gin and tonic for this one because just over a year ago, December 12th, 2019, I made a video called New House, New Year, New Plans. And it was all about the things I was gonna do in 2020. Really good. We all know how that went. So I thought I'd get myself a stiff drink and we'd react to poor old past Carrie, who had big dreams and big plans for the year 2020. Here we go. Ready for this? Welcome. This is my office, my new office in my new house. This is Tacky Tree. There's Classy Tree downstairs. This is Tacky Tree with my tacky tinsel and my sweets and Disney ornaments. That looks like a very sparsely lit tree. Where are all the lights? Just come back from the Les Mis Sitzprobe. That is Les Mis at the Sondheim Theatre. I remember this day though. This was the day that I had the best mince pies ever. And I can't remember where they were from. Conditor and Cook. That's where they were from. And they are literally the best mince pies I've ever had in my life. House update. So Oliver and I moved out on April the 8th and the builders moved in. And what we were told would be a 10 to 12 week process ended up being about 6 months. So, the house. There is so much more to that story. I won't go into too much detail because I don't really know what I should say or shouldn't say, but just know it has been a nightmare. I have bifold doors, which are amazing when they work. And the bifold doors that I had put in a year ago, I don't know how to say this diplomatically, they were shit. Basically what would happen is every time we opened them, because they would like concertina up, every time we'd open them, opening them was an absolute dream, closing them, they would all suddenly be out of alignment. But on the 15th, a couple days ago, I had new doors put in. The old doors had sunk inside of their frame, which meant there was a gap about that big, like sort of that shaped gap where you could like peer through and see daylight the other side, and it was freezing. It was so cold. So it has been like that since the last time we properly opened them, which was in the summer. And in the summer it was fine because it was really hot and we quite welcomed that nice breeze. Since the temperatures dropped, we've got like 8 blankets on the sofas downstairs because it's so cold. So hashtag nightmare. But new doors were put in a few days ago and they are so beautiful. They were installed properly. They're made of stronger stuff. They're sleeker. They're just brilliant and I'm just so thrilled. There's been many other problems, like my front door being painted and then closed when the painter left, which meant the paint sealed the door shut and I literally had to call my dad up. This was the end of last year, by the way, so pre-COVID. Had to call my dad up because Ollie was in Cats or maybe Back to the Future. Ollie wasn't in. So I had to call my dad to come over and help me chisel the door open and like shoulder the door open because the paint had just sealed the door shut and I just wasn't strong enough to get it open. The list is endless. The list of things that went wrong is about as tall as I am. So that has been a very stressful thing for this year. And because of COVID, this house has kind of gone unfurnished. I wish I could show you the room that I'm looking at now. This is my office, or what should be my office. The plan was always to save up and get shelves built, get bookshelves and cupboards built. And there's even like a little alcove next to me that I wanted a wardrobe to be put in for like fancy concert dresses, and I wanted a wardrobe that would be like full length to hang long sort of ball gowns in, just because I so often have to wear sort of nice fancy clothes for like press nights and gala nights and concerts and shows and stuff like that. So I wanted somewhere nice, like a nice private space of my own to hang those dresses. But something like that is really hard to find to fit a very specific space. So I wanted something made bespoke for the house, which obviously costs more money. So I was hoping to, you know, work through 2020 and build up some savings in order to, you know, furnish this place. But then even if I had enough savings, no one could come over and do it. So this room is the biggest mess you've ever seen. It's just boxes and boxes and boxes of, you name it, clothes, craft stuff, books, bits and pieces, like belongings that I've not seen in like almost 2 years, because they've just been in boxes since April the 9th, 2019, which is when we moved out. Despite how quickly the new year is approaching, I do have lots of plans, lots of exciting plans for the new year. 2020 is gonna be a good one. Obviously, I'm gonna be in Les Mis at the Sondheim Theatre. Oh God. That's upsetting, that's upsetting. 2020 is gonna be a good one. I do also have 7 weeks off from the end of February to... You had more than 7 weeks off, babe. My God. I've got some new writing projects. Writing has been the one thing that's kind of saved me this year, because it's something that you can do from home, that everyone can do from home. It's kind of the one thing that hasn't really stopped this year. It's been slightly slower, but not massively. So this year I finished writing Into the Spotlight, which I started midway through last year, but the first half of the year was me finishing off Into the Spotlight, which then got published in September. So whilst I was going through the edits of Into the Spotlight, I started writing With This Kiss, which is my next novel. I'll leave a pre-order link below if any of you fancy pre-ordering it, which is being published next year by HQ at HarperCollins. So I've been kept busy by doing writing, amongst other bits and pieces of Cinderella. So I have been quite lucky this year with things to keep me busy. I don't deal well at all with not being busy, so I feel like even though it's been way quieter than a normal year would be, I've still been very grateful to have things to keep me creatively fulfilled. For those of you that don't know, I have a merch shop online called The Hopeful Shop, and we've got a couple things hopefully coming out just before Christmas. Again, factories and warehouses closed down, so some of the ideas we had just didn't happen, couldn't happen. So we got a few things up and running, like the Hopeful bracelet, another candle, which I really love, and most recently these new Break a Leg t-shirts, which I will show you here. These new t-shirts are now up on the store. I wanted something that didn't scream it was Carrie Hope Fletcher merch, and it'd be something that I would actually wear myself. I would actually wear this on a normal day. So that was kind of the idea behind that, and I'm really glad that we got to get this out just before Christmas, but the other stuff that I had dreams of just couldn't happen because everywhere shut down. I have this big bag of letters that have come from people sending them to stage door, or giving them to me at stage door, giving them to me at signings, or sending them to my acting agent. And some of them date back to 2015 because they just got on top of me, especially when I did book tours, because I'd be given like 100 letters every signing and I just couldn't keep on top of it. This happened, I did this, I got through the bag of letters. I've had a few more since then. There's like a small pile on my desk of letters that got sent to my acting agents through lockdown and to the Sondheim, both at the beginning of the year and most recently. But it's literally like a pile of like 20 to 30 letters, which I'm gonna do now that the theatres are closed again. So I did that. Yay! That is something that I can say I succeeded at in the worst year in the history of the world. I don't want to get my hopes up for 2021 because I did that for 2020 and look what happened. But I really am just praying that 2021 is better than 2020 is. And I know I just said I wouldn't get my hopes up, but let's face it, I am. I'm so hopeful that 2021 is just going to be better, because how can it be worse? How could it possibly be worse? I know I'm really jinxing myself by saying that, sorry, but fingers crossed, cross your fingers. Lots of love, I'll see you tomorrow.